This little topic is called "Is Commission a Dirty Word?" One of the things we have been finding is that when people are looking at putting in some sort of a booking system or property management system, they're also looking at the pricing structures and trying to work out, is this too expensive? How much do I want to pay? So in the 20 odd years that I've worked in the tourism industry, these are the sorts of comments that I've heard again and again and again, particularly in regional areas. Why should I pay a commission? Or how can I avoid paying a commission? I just don't want to do that. I hate commission. Why should somebody else be making money out of my product? I want all my business to be commission free, or if I have to pay a commission, it better be under 10%. Definitely not paying any more than that. And I've always wondered why commission is seen as such a threat, particularly to so many small and medium-sized tourism businesses. So I tend to try and think of it as distribution rather than commission. Everything you buy has distribution in one form or another. Even purchases over the internet, usually referred to as a shipping cost, which is their distribution. With most of these products, the distribution cost is paid whether the product sells or not. The tourism industry also has distribution costs, and for us it's called commission. The key benefit with commission, however, in our industry is that you only pay it when you make a sale. But tourism is a service, not a tangible product like a box of cornflakes, so how can it be called distribution? Well, that's true, but distribution still increases exposure, and if you increase exposure, you increase sales. So if cornflakes were only sold at the point where they were made, their distribution wouldn't be anywhere near as big. If you couldn't walk into your local supermarket and buy a box of cornflakes, you had to go to wherever the manufacture plant is or the producing plant, their sales wouldn't be anywhere near as high as what they are when they're distributed all over Australia. Then I hear the comment, but I can't afford to pay commission. So then I ask the question, do you price your product for profit? I think there was about 12 or 14 years ago, Alva would probably remember, there'll probably be a few in the room that would remember, Victorian released a publication called Pricing Your Product for Profit. Who knows Victorian? Has anyone heard of Victorian? Victorian was before Tourism Alliance. Victorian and CVTC, Country Victoria Tourism Council, joined forces, and today's Tourism Alliance. Well, Victorian put together this publication called Pricing Your Product for Profit, and a lot of this information comes out of my old black and white photocopy of that publication that I still have at home. And I think even though distribution methods have changed with online, the basic principles are pretty much exactly the same. Basically, it looks at cost, volume, profit analysis. So with cost, volume, profit analysis, we're looking at fixed costs, variable costs and contribution margin. So a fixed cost is a cost that does not change with your volume. For example, if you're looking at something like rates, the rates you pay, your council rates, it doesn't matter whether you have 10 customers a year or 1,000 customers a year, your rates don't change. Okay, that is a fixed cost. Same with your insurance costs and your full-time staff costs. They are all fixed. The variable cost, on the other hand, does change with volume. So if you have an accommodation business, your laundry costs will be different if you've got 10 rooms let out last night as opposed to having 5 rooms let out last night. So you'll have greater laundry costs, or casual staff, or if you're running a tour, fuel, or if you have a restaurant, the grocery cost will change with volume. So they're variable. Some costs can have a fixed and a variable component, like your water bill. There might be a fixed charge for your water bill, but then there's the usage component, which is the variable part. So the first thing to do is understand the costs. And then when you understand the costs, have a look at how you can do some volume cost profit analysis. Here's some very simple examples. Say we had fixed costs that came to a total of $3,000 per year. So we've got $3,000 in fixed costs. Regardless of how many customers we get, they will not change. They're fixed. We have a variable cost, and I'm looking at, say, a 4-bedroom accommodation property for this example, but same thing works with any product. Variable cost per room comes to $50. All right, so each time someone goes into a room, between having it made up and doing the washing and replacing the tea bags and the coffee and whatever, there's about $50 in variable cost for each room. The room rate is $150 a night. Okay, now to work out the break-even point, we simply look at the fixed costs, and from that we subtract the selling price less the variable costs. So the selling price is $150 a night, the variable cost is $50. We take that out, we're left with 100, so we divide $100 into 3,000, we end up with 30. So straight away that tells us that our break-even point is 30 room nights. So if that's our fixed costs and our variable costs, and we need to know over the next 12 months, what do we need to do to break even? Not make any money, not lose any money, just come out even, we need 30 room nights. Let's do the same calculation again, but this time we're going to say we want a target profit of $10,000 for the year. So we do exactly the same formula, but this time we add that target profit to our fixed costs and crunch the numbers again. This time we're saying we've got fixed costs coming to $3,000 plus the $10,000 target profit. That gives us a total of $13,000 that we would like. The variable cost per room is unchanged at 50. The room rate is unchanged at 150. So we crunch the numbers again. This time we have the fixed cost plus the target profit, makes it 13,000. We have the selling price less the variable costs. We crunch the numbers and we get 130. So 130 room nights based on these figures is how many room nights we would need to sell in order to not only cover our variable and our fixed costs, but come out in front with a $10,000 profit. Okay, so that's very, very basic break-even analysis. You can do cost, volume, profit per month or per week. I've just worked out these examples per year. You can do it any time you like. Once you have your cost structures in place, you can determine what the minimum rate is that you want for your blood, sweat and tears. Okay, so you've worked out your cost structures, say your rack rate or your retail price, that's the price you charge the customer who walks in off the street, is $150 for that room. And you have a think about it and look at all your costs and say, okay, my variable costs are $50. So really, I'd be happy with 125, all right? My retail price is 150. I'd be happy with 125, but that's the absolute minimum I'm prepared to take. So that would be your net rate, all right? Your net rate is then what you offer to online distribution companies, wholesalers, inbound tour operators, etc., and say, this is my net rate. My gross rate or my rack rate's 150, my net rate's 125. What's in the middle is what you get for selling it for me. Okay, so 125 in this case would be a net rate. If your retail rate is 150 and you're prepared to pay up to, or take up to pay up to $25 in commission or distribution costs, that'd be 16.6%, not 10%, 16.6, and it's not much. That website there is Fast Forecast if you can't read it, so it's FAST, the number 4 and cast.com. And if you go to Fast Forecast, they have lots of great modelling tools for these sorts of things. If you put that extension on, which is a /break-even-calculator.aspx, that will take you straight to the page that has volume cost profit analysis. And it explains in detail what each of those costs are again, the fixed cost, the variable costs, the contribution margin, etc. But it also has a little built-in calculator. So if you don't want to work out the numbers yourself, you can just enter them in, push a button, and it'll calculate it for you. So if your brain works like mine does most of the times, it's a really handy tool to be able to use. Okay, let's go back to the pricing now. We've got an understanding on the volume cost profit analysis. We can average our commission costs out. Lots of times we talk to people about international business. Do you want to get involved in the international distribution stream? Oh my goodness, 30%, there's no way I could pay that, I couldn't afford that, I'd go broke overnight. No, not interested, thank you very much. Leave it alone. Show's over. But let's have a look at this little model here. So we've got our 4 rooms. And on this particular night, we sell 2 rooms direct to a customer. We get $150 for each of those rooms. The 3rd room, we sell over an internet sale, and between the various distribution components we're using and booking systems and whatever, we're paying up to 15% distribution cost there. So for that particular room, we're getting the 125. And then just say we've got 1 room left and we have an arrangement with an inbound tour operator and we say, yes, we're going to pay commission at 33%. Highly unlikely, but just say you were, just to show how this evens out. You're looking at your 4 rooms, your total rack rate income is $600. The net income you've got from the sale of these rooms is $525, which actually works out less than 15% total commission. So if you said you wanted to work on a distribution strategy and you had a 15% margin in for distribution costs, you can go full inbound. Because I can tell you, you're not going to get 90% of your business from inbound. Very few businesses do that. But you will get a percentage of your business from inbound if you start working down that particular area and appeal to those. And a lot of international visitors come here as what they call FIT, where they fly in, get off the plane, and once they're in the country, then they do what they want to do. They just rock up to your door like any other domestic customer. So that you don't have to always pay inbound commissions as well. But the whole purpose of this exercise is not to be so put off by commissions and rates. If you think of it as a distribution cost, accept it as a part of your business plan, put it into your planning, put it into your strategy and accept it from day one, it will no longer frighten you when you hear someone say 25, 30%, because it doesn't have to be scary. And you can manage the process. So I come back to the original question, is commission a dirty word? If you sell a room at 10% commission, you're getting 90% of something you never had. You only pay a commission when a sale is made. You still control your own rules. You decide what you're going to pay and when. and you can negotiate commissions based on volume. If somebody comes along to you and says, oh look, I want to put you on our books and we're fairly high commission, we can get you a lot of business, we want 25%, you don't have to say no and walk away. You can have a think about it and say, well, okay, you can guarantee me 100 room nights a year, I'll consider 25%. So make it work for you. They can't do it without you, okay? Commission is a two-way partnership. It's not just that case all the time. Some businesses might say, I want 25%, take it or leave it, and you can make the call then on what you want to do. But remember, at the end of the day, it's your business and it's your decision on what you want to do. All I'm suggesting is not to be frightened by commissions because they can work in your favour. If you're going direct to your customer, you might reach this many customers and what you can do direct. You start bringing in sales forces and pay commission, your customer base goes like this. Significantly bigger because they're reaching so many more people. So if you currently have a really high occupancy rate and you only sell direct to the customer, I think you should write a book because I think for the tourism industry it would certainly be a good seller. I guess the final note is if you currently have rooms or seats or whatever that pass by unsold, then just consider a well thought out commission and distribution strategy as part of your business plan. Hopefully that can make a key difference to your bottom line.